title, 7 cars that were sales flops. No one bought them. When car manufacturers release a new model, they expect it to be a hit. But sometimes, despite all the hype, a car turns out to be a complete sales disaster. Whether it was due to bad design, high prices, or just bad timing, some cars simply couldn't find buyers. Here are 7 cars that flopped so hard that almost no one bought them. 1. Edsel 1958-1960. Ford had high hopes for the Edsel, even spending millions on advertising. But when it hit the market, the design was mocked, the price was too high, and the reliability was terrible. In just 2 years, Ford pulled the plug, losing over $250 million of fortune back then. 2. Pontiac Aztek 2001-2005. GM tried to create a futuristic SUV, but the Pontiac Aztek turned out to be one of the ugliest cars ever made. Its bizarre design scared buyers away, and despite being practical, it never found success. Even with its later fame from Breaking Bad, it remains one of the biggest sales failures in history. 3. Delorean DMC-12 1981-1983. Made famous by Back to the Future, the Delorean DMC-12 was a disaster when it first launched. The car was slow, expensive, and had terrible build quality. Only about 9,000 units were sold before the company collapsed. Now it's a collector's item, but back then, nobody wanted it. 4. Cadillac Cimarron 1982-1988. Cadillac was known for luxury, but the Cimarron was just a rebadged Chevrolet Cavalier with a higher price tag. Buyers saw through the trick and avoided it. Cadillac's reputation took a serious hit, and the Cimarron became a legendary failure. 5. Renault Aventime 2001-2003. The Renault Aventime was a strange mix of a coupe and a minivan, something nobody asked for. While it looked futuristic, it was too impractical, and only 8,500 units were sold before Renault killed it. 6. Tata Nano 2008-2018. Touted as the world's cheapest car, the Tata Nano was meant to revolutionize transportation in India, but people saw it as too cheap and unsafe. Instead of becoming a bestseller, it flopped hard and was discontinued after a decade of low sales. 7. Aston Martin Cygnet 2011-2013. Aston Martin, famous for luxury sports cars, decided to rebrand a tiny Toyota IQ as the Cygnet, but with a $40,000 price tag. It made no sense, and only 300 units were sold. It remains one of the biggest missteps in automotive history. Conclusion: these cars prove that even the biggest car companies can make huge mistakes. Some were too ugly, some too expensive, and some just didn't make sense. Which of these cars do you think was the worst flop? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more awesome content.